Like, is this a cocaine party? Because if not, we have to go to sleep. We can't house all these people.
It's true. You'll be falling asleep before the spa's even closed.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks everybody for joining us here on another great episode of Muse on the Mic. We're going so deep today, Riley. Shock the world.
Are we though?
We
We
are.
usually dive into like the secret lives of massage parlor owners. Like, are they spicy? Are they not? I feel like we get a lot of questions about us personally, and I think it's just a hot topic to dive into, and it may not meet your expectations of what our lives are like, but I think it's going to be a fun one.
I would say for everyone, whether you're visually watching or audio listening, just assume we're in slutty lingerie while we tell all of these stories, and then it'll make even the vanilla aspects super slutty. That should work. Because who doesn't want to go like supply shopping in their lingerie? Of course we do that.
Yeah. I think people
Hilarious.
honestly assume, I mean, you can even think about it from like training the muses. I know there's always been this assumption that we need male demo boys for us to
Right.
demonstrate all the naked things on that. I'm like, we don't do that. Like, training is just a conversation. And as much as I want to keep the dream alive and like keep the boys' minds wandering, the facts are the facts. It's just a conversation. And if anything, actually, in past, Emily and I used to train together, and we
Yeah.
used to use our portable phone, if needed, as our fake penis. So there's a little tidbit of information for you.
The phone, a water bottle, or the wooden penis hanging on the wall in the girls' staff room. I loved when we trained together, first of all, for the shits and the giggles, because once we
Mhm.
get going, um, it was always hilarious because we would demo a few things completely clothed.
Yeah.
And one of us would be the boy and one of us would be the girl. But training, we'd usually leave the door open because we're not like in a room with like
Mhm.
somebody. And it was always funny when people would walk into the spa and like the manager would be like, come with me, I'll take you to room 4. And they walk past the room and they do this like double take because
What are
there's
these
like
girls
three
doing?
bodies climbing around and everyone has their pants on. Like it looks so funny that people would kind of like stop and look back at the door and kind of like, what's going on in there? And then you
Mhm.
just hear the giggles as the manager is explaining it like down the hallway. It was so much fun. But I think people assume our lives are entirely sexy all the time. And I think,
Mhm.
listen, for our own joy and satisfaction, I think we try to spice up the aspects that we really love. Like
Yeah.
we're all for dressing up and, doing nice things. When we go out for dinner, we have a grand old time and look our best and all those kind of things. But there's a lot of grunt work and butt work and desk work and stuff to entrepreneurship in general. Um,
Mhm.
and the unsexy parts of this job are literally sometimes the most annoying because they can
Mhm.
become tedious, monotonous. Sweet Riley does the schedule every weekend, for example. She
Mhm.
sacrifices every weekend. And I'm always shocked that your like stress levels aren't here by Sunday night. You're pretty chill. Whereas like when I take over the schedule, if ever you need me to do it, I'm just stressed out the whole 2 days that by the time I don't have to do it anymore, I'm like, oh, thank God. I hate this job. It drives me crazy. That is a task or a job that I just dislike. And you're cool about every weekend of your life, you sacrifice
Yeah.
to do that and make sure these girls are organized. And I don't think it sounds like such a little thing, like scheduling
Mhm.
employees.
Mm.
Some days, ladies and gentlemen, it is herding cats.
Well, and I think,
Some days it's smooth and breezy,
yeah,
but most days it's cats.
I think you have to always remember too, like the demographic of age of our general population of our employees, right? So we
Yeah.
are substantially older. And like I've said so many times in episodes, that is a tough part of the job. As we age,
Mm,
they kind of remain the same. And so whether that's patience, which sometimes can increase with age, depending
yep.
on the situation. But yeah, dealing with 20 somethings, I find a bit difficult. in volume. And that's what creating the
Yeah.
schedule is. So it is having a lot of patience and understanding that their little problems might be really huge problems in their world, and like kind of stepping into their shoes for a minute. But I think I've gotten used to the scheduling job, obviously over 16 years. But I look at your jobs the same way. Like Emily exclusively handles the email. And guys, I would like stab myself in the eye with a fork if I had to do it. I shit you not. Because listen, I love you guys too, but she's chatty. She loves to write. And I think this job was just designed for her because I am like one word answers, appointment booked, have fun. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the same patience for it as she does.
You are hilarious. You know, there's been a few times when I've been traveling where I've like forcefully made you take over the email. Like, we're not putting an auto reply on it. You're going to attend to these emails because it's not just one. There's a general. We each have our own. There's a front desk. There's a hiring. There's a number of them. I'll leave the rest as accounting. There's all kinds of them. And so to have all that going on all of a sudden on your phone is a lot. But I might take a little browse when I get back from my trip and see what Riley's been up to, or like how many appointments have come in. And I'm like, this girl's so curt. She's so short and curt. It's so funny because I have ongoing shenanigans with some of the people that book by email. I have one of our favorite customers, who shall remain nameless. I can't even think of a nickname for him.
Okay.
He's a big fan of our longest term Muse, and he's just a doll.
Mhm.
Every week he tries to challenge me with writing his appointment booking request in a new language. And so I have to hop on like Google Translate or Duolingo or something, be like, what the fuck? Figure it out. And then I learn how to say what I want to say back. And then I confirm it back. And he's like, ooh, you got me this week. And I'm like, ooh, I'll see you next week. And like, we have
You are
this
hilarious.
banter. It's so funny. It's so funny. And like, it's the same in the social media DMs. There's one loyal customer of ours that sends me a dirty joke every morning. Every morning like clockwork. And it does not matter the day, the weather, or his own personal situations. He makes a point to make me laugh every morning. And so I sit with my cup of coffee. Emily's a grumpy one in the morning, rubbing the sleep out of my eyes. I look at my phone and I'm already giggling because I know it's waiting for me. His jokes are hysterical, hysterical. And to the point I'm like, I wish I could read some of these on the pod because they're all dirty. They'd be hilarious. Yeah. And yeah, the banter is just so sweet. And yet we equally get weird fucking emails sometimes. And I think I've got a number of stories for that one. Listen, asking questions is never weird. Having, you know, a nervous fetish request or something, I don't consider that weird. The email might say, this is a weird question, but that's not weird to me. Weird is the actual crazy people. And there is one, we are going to do an episode about this gentleman one day because he's the worst stalker I've ever come across in this industry. Stalked a number of our former girls, but somehow I got caught up in the mix via email. One of his favorite ways to harass, excuse me, was through our main like info at like basic generic website contact form. And through our contact form, you can't block an email because it's coming from the form on the website. So this guy got through all the time, every time. And some days it would be 300 emails that day. So not only was it like stalking a couple of our girls, but this person was not of sane mind. Some of these things would read like a manifesto. Some of them were like violent visions. Some were that political rants. They were random gibberish that wasn't even like sentences or no punctuation. And every letter beside themselves, so you couldn't even separate a word, like a word search. Like it was just madness, absolute madness. And it would stress me out so freaking much. I had no idea who this guy was, never met him in real life. One of the girls that he was obsessed with hadn't worked for us for 7 years, and he was still emailing at that volume. And then, lo and behold, one particular girl decided to leave Muse and work somewhere else. And those emails vanished. I've not heard
So
from said
crazy.
gentleman since. Dun dun
One
dun.
of the real mysteries of Muse that will go down as.
We have a bunch of mysteries because there's some legit fuckery, including some that happened today.
Today. Oh yes, I forgot about that. I'm like, today's already been a day.
It's been a day. It's been one of them days. It felt like a Monday. It's a Wednesday
Mhm.
while we're recording. Where's the humping of a hump day? I don't know. It didn't happen today. But we got a message from one of our staff who discovered in a very weird roundabout way that someone with a mysterious WhatsApp number is impersonating her and randomly messaging people. I don't know if that means civilians? Does it mean industry
Right.
people? They're just soliciting all left and right. And someone brought this to her attention and she was like, what the actual? Like, it's a dude's name in the WhatsApp profile claiming to be this girl, sharing her pictures as if like, this is me, come see me, but not at Muse. They're saying to come see her at some mystery website that doesn't exist here in Canada. It's somewhere in America.
Right.
And so is it, that happens. It used to happen on like Craigslist and Backpages.
Right.
Someone lifts your photos and pretends that's my likeness. See Emily in Connecticut and it's Riley's pictures, right? That's one thing. This was weird with the WhatsApp piece,
Hmm.
especially because to have people's numbers, like it's a golden rule. You can call and book appointments without blocking your number. In fact, we don't
Hmm.
accept private numbers. And we will never return the call. We will
Right.
never call a client back. Even sometimes if they're like, you can call me to confirm the appointment, I'm like, I just don't feel right about that.
Yeah.
So the fact that this number is like cold messaging people with sexual solicitation, I'm like, whoever this is going to land themselves in like the slammer one day because
Hmm.
it's madness and it's even more legal in America. So
Right.
what are you doing? It's never dull.
No, it isn't.
Never
I think
dull.
it's never dull with those type of things. Like whether it's just complete fuckery, which is weekly that there is something going on, or just
Mm-hmm.
mundane, like, business aspects of running at any business. But I think the assumption is that it's really sexy and really wild and like we're just covered in oil all day. And I want I think so. But like what is the life of Emily? Tell us
Mm.
like a difference you think clients would be like, really? Because I literally think they think you're at swingers parties every night and everything is sex. Like I think people assume our lives are very sexy.
Well, I could say sexy aspects. Emily wishes she could be at swingers parties. She would need a partner and privacy. So that
Right.
means also a private jet and a different land to do it in.
Sure.
Emily sleeps naked every day of her life. I'm anti jammies. I
Hmm.
masturbate at 4 or 4:30 like clockwork every day.
Yeah. And
That's
then
my
now.
time. I can tell the little story on why. I grew up with a mother that watched Young and the Restless every day at 4:30, and so it didn't matter if we were 2 years old or 20. Well, I didn't live at home when I was 20. I left long before that. It didn't matter what was going on. The entire house's instructions were to shut the fuck up and stop because Y&R is on. You don't touch
Right.
the TV. You don't make a sound. You don't play with your little ball. You don't even do your homework. You could do that after Y&R. And my
Right.
mother would come home. She was a teacher. She'd come home. She'd kick off her shoes. She'd watch Y&R. She'd fall asleep in like 5 minutes into the show. But if you so much as moved a muscle, her mom instincts would be eyes open and she'd be like, do not touch it. Okay.
Right.
So by instinct, both my brother and I, as grown ass adults, by like 4:15, 4:30, we start getting the head nods because we would end up falling asleep waiting for mom's stupid show to be done.
Hmm.
And so both of us by instinct just get tired at 4:30 organically. My circadian clock is totally wrong. But I prefer an afternoon delight as opposed to a before bed or late night romp. And so for me, it's just perfect to like rub one out and take a snooze. It's trained my body though to be like a man that as soon as I'm finished on my orgasm, I'm fucking tired. Don't talk
Yeah.
to me, don't cuddle, I don't need your pillow talk. If anything, leave. Let me just asleep. And
That's so
Riley will
funny.
wait to message me about things, or I'll read a message right and I'm just like, I know you're napping, but just tell me all the stuff.
You
Your
know what's
ears can
funny?
all start ringing.
Even when it comes to the staff, like someone's hunting me down and they're like, I tried Emily, and I'm thinking she's napping. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, she had a meeting today at 4. Because I
I
already know what
did
you're doing,
with
but I don't need to
myself.
tell our staff about your nap schedule. And that shit's real. We could be on vacation and Emily's still like, bye guys, I'm going for my
Bye,
nap.
guys. And I still rub one out first. It
So
doesn't
good.
matter if we're in Mexico or Cuba or where the hell we are. That is like clockwork. I'm also up usually till 1 or 2, 3 in the morning, depending. I have very bad insomnia. Um, Riley's the early bird, so I get the late night nonsense. The
Mhm.
late night schedule changes, the sign outs, and like any nighttime close up problems and that stuff. Riley deals with the morning call in sick and that kind of shit. The girls have like a window. Like if I'm in
Right.
bed by 3, you're probably up by 6 something. That little sweet spot is when they should really be calling in sick because
Hmm.
otherwise we're going to be like, hello, we've got them
Someone's
right on the
answering.
phone. Let's talk about it. It's actually hilarious. I'm trying to think what other sexy things I slide in. Most of my conversations are flirty, honestly. Like my banter and email, my nonsense I say here, it's no
Yeah.
different. We had a sales meeting this morning, and I flirted these boys' asses off. By the end, they were like cheesing their teeth, and their cheeks were hurting from the grinning. Because I'll just make you feel like $1 million. So that's what I do.
She was. She was. And it's funny because it's like as similar as we are with some things, we're like complete polar opposites with others. For example, in this meeting, I didn't think to bring that up. Emily was she was on, okay? She was on her game, and I was just like, mm-hmm. Give me the numbers, we're moving on. Like I was just not in the same headspace as her. But I love that about our relationship, that I think it balances each other. And now, mind you, granted, if you were off for that day, I would know when to pick up said slack. But at the same time, like
100%.
it's handy having two of us. But yeah, I mean, I'll
It's
tell you,
so
Lynn, with
handy.
your jobs, you've ruined it for these boys because really, I feel like after 15, 16 years, we should switch duties. And there's more duties than emails and scheduling, guys. But for example, those two duties, I am not willing because you've spoiled the boys. They will be highly disappointed and they're going to be like, we can't deal with Riley anymore. Where's Emily?
That's actually hilarious. I'd love to see if there'd be a revolt. Be like, bring
Oh,
back
there would
Emily
be.
to the emails.
There
That's
would
so
be.
funny. That's so funny. You know what? The creative side likes it, and I'm chatty. I live alone. I hermit a lot. Like I'm in hibernation a lot of the time. As soon as someone wants to talk to me, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. It's just gotta come out. Otherwise, my poor cat's here at all, and they don't care. So I gotta tell somebody.
It's so funny.
Hilarious. I also like to cook sometimes in heels. This was before my back injury. But one of my favorite things to do around Christmas time is to bake naked.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I knew
Anytime I
about
brought
bacon.
cookies to the spa for like Halloween or Christmas, I bake those butt ass naked. And I
But
usually take
well,
some selfies to go with it. I
okay.
don't know.
I get it
I
for
feel
the
like
purpose of
it's just
selfies.
hot. Like I'm capable, I'm cute. Why not?
Fair point.
And I'm just convinced they taste better.
Mm-hmm. No, those cookies were good.
So funny, so funny. So what? Let's flip it around. What's the
Hmm.
sexiness in Riley's life, and what's the monotony that no one would ever guess?
Well, boys, there's not a lot of sexiness in my life right now. Let's just be real. No, there's not. But I'm really happily enjoying that phase. My life is monotonous, whether it comes to like work, children, like it's very routine, it's very structured. But I like to think I really embrace it. Like I'm having fun in this era, but I'm also
Yeah.
very aware that there's like other eras, and that's the beauty of life and like all of our individual journeys is this is my commitment to my journey now. I'm also aware come, God, I don't want to give numbers and ages, but in a few years, life will look very different when it comes
Yeah.
to not just work, wink, wink, um, but also to children. Like there's
Mhm.
things happen quickly and change quickly. So I look forward to a lot of like adventure in my life, both sexy
Mhm.
adventure and otherwise. But I'm really kind of comfy being in this mommy entrepreneur phase.
I think it makes perfect sense because you're right. Like, blink and you'll miss it.
Hmm.
And yeah, your kids are not going to want to hang out as much. They're on
Hmm.
the cusp of teen years. And so they're going to be like, bye, mom. And that's all you're going to hear all day.
Yeah.
So set up
Get
your
in the
space
car.
and your calendar and all the things to what you want to do, and then fit them into the rest of it because they're going to have their own calendar that's fuller than yours.
Hmm.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
But you
Then
know what
you're
I
going to be
think
like,
is,
I'm bored. I need to go on an adventure.
yeah. I mean, I do think deep down, like I am like an adventurous soul, so to speak.
Hmm.
Mind you, I haven't had much lately. But I think there is, and I think we gain this with age, that there's a certain appreciation for the small things. And that's what I'm trying to really focus on is
Yeah,
enjoying small moments. Like they could be little things or little, memories that get made, but they're so important. And I just try to like be in those moments, knowing the
100%.
sexy stuff can come later, and I'll still be here.
Absolutely. Well, some of their biggest
Mhm.
challenges are ahead too, right? So
Mhm.
it's going to prepare all of you for that. They've had some changes. They had the
Mhm.
talk with mom about her job this year.
Yeah,
That was a big one. That was a
it
big,
really
big
was.
one. You did it with flying colors. They
Hmm.
came out the other end just fine.
Hmm.
And everybody's more in the know. It definitely
Yeah.
makes conversation. Listen, even when I'm hanging out with y'all, it's a little bit more comfortable. The
Hmm.
elephant in the room got a little bit smaller.
Hmm. No, it has been good. They've really like adapted well, and I know we did a whole update episode. Um, but to catch you up, I get kind of gave like the gist of it, the very child-friendly version, and said, you know what, as time goes on, you have questions, you can ask them. And they have, but they're
Hmm.
very small, they're very digestible. But I will say, because they hold no stigma and no shame, these beautiful little creatures, my
Mhm.
daughter told her friend, and as they were in my back seat, and I kind of looked back at her with that like mom glare of like, what
Right.
are you doing? Like, it's one thing that I'm choosing to speak to my children. I feel really uncomfortable speaking to somebody else's children. So that was the secondary talk of, okay, this is our world and our conversations, and they don't leave like our immediate yet.
Yeah.
Okay, no sharing.
The circle of trust, the
Yeah,
Fockers and the
super
circle of
small.
trust. Absolutely. I love it though. I love that they're still curious without
Hmm.
being like invasive
Hmm.
because their curiosity will grow and ebb and flow naturally instead
Yeah.
of just being nosy. And I really admire that in your kids because I know me when I was that age. I
Hmm.
was nosy. I was so nosy. I would have been going through all your paperwork and all your phone and all your devices, anything I could find, just thinking mom's hiding something somewhere. I did that to my own
Right.
parents and they had nothing. So I still was like, I know something's just not right. Like I would search through everything. I never found a Christmas present, but I found many a sex toy and porno videos and homemade porno videos, all kinds of crazy shit.
No.
I was nosy. I was nosy as hell, as was my brother, because later in life we both realized we were both doing the same searching. It's just the poor house. The poor house got like torn to shreds at times because we were both just like, I just need to know. I don't know what I
Hmm.
needed to know, but I needed to know it.
Yeah.
And your kids are so respectful. And to be honest, I think nowadays, the way like people's attention spans go, they probably don't even give a shit.
No,
They're probably
they
just
don't.
like, okay, and like off
Hmm.
they go. Whereas like for me, it was like I'm about to turn into Inspector Gadget and
Right.
solve this mystery. I don't even know what the mystery is. I'm gonna solve it because we had nothing else to do with our time. And it was play outside or on a rainy day, or God forbid I was sick from school. I'd
Yeah.
masturbate and then search the house for secrets. That's all I would
You're such a masturbator, Emily.
all my life, all my life. Don't worry, your laundry days are going to change with a teenage boy in the house. It's going to be interesting, but all of these little elements absolutely make up the days of our lives in that
Hmm.
regard. And yet, I would say there was a time, especially the early years of the spa being open, we
Hmm.
hung out every day. We made a point to, go out for celebratory dinners where we'd both get too drunk and Riley would expose our privacy. Check out past episodes about that story. But we'd be out. We were out in the streets. We were out in the world. We were out doing different things. I remember the first couple times we traveled together, which was also with big groups of people. Everybody meshed really well. Then young kids era started and nobody was leaving whatsoever. And now we've been back to traveling again and having all kinds of fun. I love how well we travel together. I think that is actually a highlight of our friendship because it's easy. We know each other so well that like when I need to nap, we could both be by ourselves and you'd be like, I'll be at the bar. It's fine. And I would come back an hour later and be like, catch me up. What are we drinking? Just get right back to it. But the ease of use, I think, is just so fun. So whether it's we're off to Oasis Aqua Lounge for a marketing promotion at the Swingers Club downtown, or if we're just like, let's get drinks and a sandwich, like we just have the most fun when we're together. And I find we get a little bit of shop talk going, then we get a little gossip going, and then we tend to get lost in ideas. And that could be as much on the beach or in a business meeting. Our brains just automatically go entrepreneurial. And at the end of most trips, we come back with ideas.
You want to go deeper? You want to go all the way? Let's go deep throat.
Good night and welcome to another episode of Deep Throat, here with your favorite sexologist, Emily Muse. And I am taking you on a ride down from after the climax. We're talking about aftercare. Why is it so very important? What is aftercare anyway? What does it consist of? And how can you use that in your lovemaking at home with your favorite sex worker or at the massage parlor after all your happy endings? Let's talk about it. So aftercare is a dedicated amount of time, sensations, and attention that your submissive or your partner is absolutely requiring in order to reground themselves and almost come back to a homeostasis. The body has been through a lot. After a long or deep sexual session, think about when you were in your prime, your youth, your college heydays, where you could go again and again, or staying over to girlfriend's house for the first time meant that you were going 8 rounds a day. Like, that stuff is intense. It drains the body so much. You need to replenish. So in a dom-sub dynamic, or at home if you're kind of the leader, you're the one who's pleasing the partner and taking the reins that day, you're responsible for the well-being of both yourself and your partner, but especially your partner. And vice versa can occur as well. We'll get to dom aftercare. But for the submissive or the person who has been absolutely drained of all their fluids, there is a absolute heightened vibration. Their body and their mind is on another level. We often call it subspace. Some people don't even get that far into it, but either way, you are vibrating higher and you need to really bring yourself back down, your breath, your heart rate, all of your nerve endings and sensations, and your mind has to readjust to what was complete escapism into centering back into yourself without being startled or foggy or like you're still caught in a dream sequence. You really want to get back to being present in the everyday. And for many people, that can look very differently. So this is part of the communication that I'm always stressing for you to have with your partner. And the bonus, I think, to BDSM dynamics and sex work is that we have those kind of conversations all the time. Whether it's asking a new customer what they're into or a new sub or dom what their limits are, those communication comments and conversations happen at length, ad nauseum, and on repeat. But in traditional relationships, when you're kind of just at home with your partner, how often are you really having deep sexual conversation about consent and fantasy and limits? Maybe talking about the things that you'd fantasize about but you'd never try. That stuff can inspire things that you do want to try, and you can implement little pieces of it to almost replicate or test those limits. It reminds me a bit of body slides because they replicate and test limits too and require pretty good communication. So, for example, let me give a few examples of what aftercare can look like. For some people, they will feel really chilly and cold afterwards. They've been sweating, they've maybe orgasmed a time or 12 and are very depleted of fluids and electrolytes. You want to have a few key items close by, on hand, and without having to move your submissive around too much. When you're done the scene, they'll probably be collapsed in a puddle on the floor or on the bed, but chances are the floor. You want to wrap them in that blanket. You want to actually caress, pet their head. It's almost childlike in the sense that you're like, it's okay, honey. We're back, we're safe. Remind them that they're safe. Talk to them softly and sweetly. Give them more electrolytes. Bring the Gatorade to the playroom. A banana is even better. Bring both. Bring fluids, bring hydration. Bring some warm cloths or some cool cloths, depending on how they're feeling. Wipe the sweat from their face and their body. Talk to them, look in their eyes. Ask them even to close their eyes so that they can just relax. For some people after that, all they want is a nap. Take your submissive, pick her up, put her in bed, tuck her in, leave that water right beside the bedside table, and allow her to rest.
You like that? You want more? Subscribe to the Patreon and I'll take you deep throat.
What I
Literally.
was thinking too, when you were talking about going in and out of conversation, what's an interesting part to me is how easily and often we go in and out of using our real names to using Emily and Riley. Like if it is a personal topic, I'm addressing you as, and if it's a work topic, I'm addressing you as Emily. And that can flip back and forth very easily. And I mean, sometimes I even make mistakes. Like it could, we could be with my family or something and I'll say Emily, which, I'll give my head a shake, but to me, it's one and the same person. I mean, really, we are like the same person as much as there's, little nuances and differences. We have the exact same finances. We have the exact same schedule. We have like everything is the same about our lives with, a few details that are different, but it's interesting. I think people think the business is so sexy and fun all the time, but it is more relaxed than I think most corporate jobs. But most of our days look like scheduling stuff. Again, listening to a certain generation of women come up with reasons she can't be at work, like it snowed, banning clients for bad behavior and having to sort through with the girl what happened, walk me through the experience. Planning photo shoots is fun. Like it is a fun job, but it's a job at the end of the day.
Absolutely. When I'm knee deep in editing the photos, you again do the scheduling because I can't deal with scheduling. I just can't. And to be honest, the photo shoots are even worse from my experience because it stresses me more. If someone cancels a photo shoot, it's expensive for everyone. And I immediately just like I feel like my heart and my anxiety just race. And I'm not at my best when I'm like that. I know Riley can handle that stress. She doesn't shake at all. Her hand is super steady. And she'll organize all the things. And that is just more effective. I love the creative parts. I love when we're like, just thought up our new monthly promo and I'm off to do all the graphics work. And like, I don't even use a computer. I think guys need to know this too. Every piece of my job I do from my phone. So whether that's, okay, we have an editor for the pod, but like making the little highlight clips that we put on social media, editing our photos to a professional scale, all of those little things, all the social media posts, the IG stories, all that shit. I do all of it from my phone. I am not computer friendly. I couldn't tell you in computer language what I'm doing. I just know the apps that let me do it. I do it. And people are sometimes shocked because they're like, you do all of that on a screen like this big. And I'm like, sitting on my
You're
sofa.
a creature of habit. I think. Like, I think if you actually were forced to use a computer, you would get used to it and probably like the experience more, but you're just comfortable in what you do and it works.
Because I'm on my couch. I got the TV on. I've got a glass of wine in my hand or a joint going. And I'm just like editing Hottie's photos today for the next 3 hours. Like, this is my life. And then after that, I'm cross-eyed from staring at my screen too close. It's the reason why my glasses prescription keeps going up like every 6 months. It's actually hilarious. But I love when we're around other people. Because when people witness our dynamic and then they comment on it, I find that hilarious. because there are
Sure.
a few people, very select few people, that see, for example, when we ebb and flow between work life, real life, work life, private life, etc. It could be in the same sentence, let alone the same conversation. And people are like, how do you guys do that? And to us, it's just second nature. It's just
Hmm.
all the things. Like, I'm sure most people, if it's a creative meeting, first of all, they set a meeting and then sit
Right.
down and get all the creative people. Let's get the marketing department. Let's get the graphics guy. Sit down. We just have the same phone call at like 6:30.
Hmm.
Just come up with whatever it is. Like, it's very casual. I love that both of us could do our jobs from the beach just as
Hmm.
much as from our house or from the spa. In fact, going to the spa sometimes is funny because,
Hmm.
like, we almost have to think of things to do while we're there because sitting in our office is very boring. We don't
Hmm.
want to micromanage front desk. We don't want to hover. We absolutely will go spend a little bit of time in the staff room, chat with the girls, see if they need anything. I'll tell a funny story because I can't help myself. And then
Right.
after that, we're like,
Yeah.
now what do I do?
Yeah.
Whereas we know other parlor owners sit at the spa all day. My boss
Hmm.
used to be at the spa all fucking day. Like, and I used to look at him and be like, don't you have somewhere to be? Like, this is so weird. And yet we don't. I know so many places, especially the male owned ones, just like to hang at the Rub N Tug. And
Hmm.
I find that weird. Like, I've always wanted to own one, but I don't want to be at one every day.
I think I don't know about now, but like back when you worked, for example, your old boss, were there cell phones back then? Maybe they were just starting to come in.
Not at the beginning. No, it was all like
Right.
old school landlines.
See, now I just feel like we all, regardless of what industry you work in, we can work from anywhere.
True.
So I wish there was more reason sometimes. Like our future dreams is to one day have a studio at Muse. That way we can come in, do our Muse business, go upstairs and record, come down, talk with like to make more of a day out of it. I don't mind going. I just need to have purpose.
For
Um,
sure.
but yeah, if we're there
Hilarious.
together, we usually lunch and skedaddle. There's not much to
Right?
do.
It's true. And yet, the beginning, we did everything. First,
Hmm.
like 3, 4 years, front desk every day for the first year, which meant double shifts. We love to do it together because we both also have like there was a distinct nervousness to be there by
Hmm.
ourselves at the beginning.
Hmm.
Not out of fear. I think it was just straight nerves. For some reason,
Right.
like I'm not doing this by myself. What do you mean you're not coming in today? Are you
Right.
crazy? And then, you hire your first manager once you get the budget and all those things. But one of my favorite shenanigans, I'm glad we don't have the duty anymore, but the memories are hilarious, is when we used to go supply shopping for the Rub N Tug.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
Rub N Tug supply shopping is bizarre. Your
Yeah.
cart ends up filled with the weirdest shit. It is 9,000 cleaning products
Hmm.
and candy.
And
It's
candles.
candles, candy, and like little mouthwash cups. Like, it's just weird.
Hmm.
It's just strange. And like cashiers and helpers at Walmart and stuff would be like, what are we shopping for? Are you moving? Like, they're trying to figure out
Yeah,
what it
keep
is.
in mind, because this sounds weird because, okay, we don't do supplies anymore, but if we did that job, we certainly wouldn't be going in person. So again, this is
True.
pre Uber Eats delivery and Walmart
Right.
orders, right? Like,
Pre Amazon, all that. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. But it was funny because literally you're buying like 27 body washes,
Hmm.
18 things of Tide Pods, and then
Right.
literally like 14 bags of candy. And people are like, what are you doing? And then once in a while we get creative and think we need a new prop or something for a photo shoot. So it was
Hmm.
all the cleaning things, sometimes in 2 carts. So we look like the couponers from a TLC show, plus a chair,
Yeah.
plus a hula hoop, and like the strangest, most random things. It would just end up hysterical. We could barely carry it all. The amount of times we dropped a full shopping cart in the parking lot over on its side, random men coming to help us because we're just damsels in complete and utter distress.
Hmm.
IKEA shops getting lost as lost could possibly be, walking in with a shopping list and literally being like, I don't know where any of this stuff is. Why didn't we order online? Like, so many moments building every piece of furniture. Because listen, when we started,
Building.
it was all IKEA,
The building was
and
terrible.
neither of us want to ever see an Allen key ever again. And yet I do have a slight fondness other than the labor. We were there until late at night. The spa wasn't even open yet, like for business. This is pre-grand opening. So we locked the front door. We had the music blasting. We had a couple bottles of wine, crash on the couch. Like, it was fun in that regard. It was like new house, new apartment kind of vibe, right? Like, we get to paint and we get to pick things and decorate. That shit was super, super fun. Minus the pain of the fingers and the Allen keys, because that shit
No,
was
but
so
it's
stupid.
in volume, right? Like you make it through your first structure. Let's say we're building a shelf of some sort, and we finally accomplish that, and you feel really great, and then you say, "Shit, I gotta do that 4 more times."
Yeah.
Like everything is times 5, right? It's terrible. Never
So
again.
silly. So silly. When we first started doing trade shows, building our booths was an absolute shit show. If you want to see like an I Love Lucy style comedy, watch us build a trade show booth, because we can't. We don't know what we're doing. It takes entirely too much duct tape. What are those plastic things?
Ties. Those
The zip
ties.
ties. Like men would put things up properly, and we're doing it like the MacGyver way of doing it. Things teetering, mismatched furniture sometimes, like just the most hilarious shit. And as fun as we would have at the actual trade show, which are usually spicy, so there's fun and music and toys and demonstrations and all this cool shit happening. By the time teardown day comes, we are two grumpy little bitches just wanting to get the hell out of here. And I remember other like exhibitors, other booth people coming up to us and being like, "It's Sunday afternoon. Why are you guys tearing down already?" And we're like, "I'm just so over this shit." Just throwing shit in a box and just wanting to get to the storage unit and get the hell home, because it's probably been the 3 days of the show, the day before building, the day after teardown. We're pooped. We've been on our feet the whole time. We've drank too much wine across all those days, and we're just exhausted. We're completely over it.
I think what we did wrong, now I know a lot of our decisions were always based on budget, but we only brought what could fit in Riley's car. And back then it was a car. It wasn't my bigger cup. Like even I'm thinking
Popes in a Volkswagen.
picking up balloons for any open house or any event we were doing was like, again, I'm the driver of the duo. So it's like whatever we can shove into Riley's car. And I'd be driving like this, like up to the window with balloons, and half would pop before I even arrive at said destination.
Oh my God. The bloopers are just hilarious. And yet, you know what? Listen, there's been some shitty things that happen. It's always nerve-wracking when, let's say, well, not anymore, but first couple years, bylaw visits used to stress us out. Now we're like, hey boys, like it's ordinary to us, but like little things like that. We've had obviously fuckery from competitors, including up until today. We've had situations constantly where I don't know if we're the only, but we might be the only Rub N Tug that has full staff meetings where all 8 managers and 47 ladies all need to be in the same room at the same time. And let me tell you, Riley schedules those too, because not a fucking chance for me. The dawn of like the pandemic and everyone switching to Zoom, it's so much easier to have managers meetings now. Like there is the mundane stuff, and yet there is never a dull moment in a full-fledged staff meeting, because half the girls are on shift, so they're in their lingerie. Other people came in rolling out of bed or like whatever situation, fresh from the gym. Some of these people we've never seen without makeup. So there's been the odd time where I'm like, who's that? And it's like she took her wig off. She took her lashes off. She just came back from the gym. She's got no makeup and she's in sweats. And I'm like, do I know you? Like, I don't know who that is. Like, it's really funny. And we collect everyone together. There are always jokes. Somebody ends up standing up to demonstrate something at some point to be like, and then the guy did this, or and then I was in this position and it didn't really work. Riley, the penis placement isn't correct.
So good.
The penis placement chats, when we need to teach everyone a new move, that's always funny, because then we'll target our visits to the spa to try and like get everybody. And yet that means jamming like 8 hotties into a room just so her and I can fuck around and show some stupid new move. And like, we're giggling because we are like, we look like idiots right now. These chicks are like,
Mhm.
these are my bosses, as we're like trying to be all sexy and doing something. But then after that, it's practice time. And we
Yeah.
role play, we act it out, we practice greetings, like we do some sales training. It's actually quite fun, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's sexier than normal meetings and yet
Mhm.
not quite the pillow fight that everyone would think it is.
Exactly.
It's such a funny, like happy medium. There's always some snacks. Someone's
Mhm.
got the big box of coffee. Some poor manager is on duty running back and forth trying to not miss the meeting and still attend to the door. They get more steps in that day than imaginable. And yet,
It's fun.
as soon as we have an open house where everyone is there, you and I are always looking for an escape. We put on our work faces, we put on our work outfits, our voice, our all the things, put on our Emily and Riley hats. And after like 2 hours, I'm like, my cheeks hurt from smiling. I haven't talked to this many humans since pre-pandemic. And like, I'm exhausted. When do we go for lunch?
Yeah. It's
It's
so
so
funny.
funny. I actually love it. Our lives are never dull and absolutely hilarious. I know we've done a few episodes about like creating sessions or the times we've done promo events at the Swingers Club and stuff like that. It's funny the things that we have to consider even in the sexy moments. Because something
Mhm.
as simple as hosting an event at a Swingers Club means there's like a million instructions for the staff about what's appropriate and what's not. That means there's a million instructions and rules for the clients because maybe they've never been to one and they don't know the rules,
Mhm.
and like keeping everyone safe and making sure nobody drinks too much and like everybody's accounted for, like a field trip.
Mhm. It's never dull.
It is never ever dull. And no matter how long we do this, new ideas and new adventures always seem to come about. I'm currently trying to talk Riley into doing a holiday Christmas sleepover with all the girls at the spa. And she's like, see that face? Because I'm like, it'll be like camp. And she's like, kill me now.
Well, listen, this is true. I wasn't sure what you were about to say. This is true. Now, I think no one's going to come to our party. Honestly, our staff's going to be like, no thanks. I'm busy.
This
I
is
don't
our
know.
PTSD.
I think so. Listen, if we do nothing, the staff gets a little disgruntled with us. If we do
Mhm.
the most, like we've literally had, should I not say all this? We've actually
Yeah,
planned staff parties, like a work, like Christmas party. I don't know that no one showed up, but very few.
to be long.
So it's like, listen, we try. Listen, if everyone wanted a sleepover, I would pack my shit up and be there with
Okay.
like a bottle of tequila. But I just don't think the staff wants it. And I love that Emily believes they would.
I always
I'm just
believe.
not sure.
I
I'm
always
just not
believe
sure.
in people's better nature. And like, I just assume people will get it. And half my life is being misunderstood. So I'm constantly over explaining. It drives me bonkers. But even those kind of things, team building is important, right? And is it everyone's favorite thing? Would I rather be in my own bed naked? Of course I would. Is there
Okay, but
enough
where
places
would
to
we all
sleep?
sleep?
No.
Like, is this a cocaine party? Because if not, we have to go to sleep. We can't house all these people.
It's true. You'll be falling asleep before the spa's even closed. I'll
Yes,
be
I'd be
wide
like, I'm
awake
gonna be
till
in
it's
room
almost
one.
open. Hilarious. Hilarious. I don't know. It's just an idea, but I thought it'd be really cute. Everyone in their
Hmm.
jammies. I'd have to buy jammies because I literally don't own pajamas. I'd
Hmm.
have to actually prepare for that. But either way, who doesn't like a bunch of chicks at a slumber party? It could be
Hmm.
rebelliously fun, or it could be a shit show. Who knows?
It is true too.
Hilarious. You know what? I love our lives, everything about it. Even on our worst days, we're
Hmm.
together. And that has been the saving grace for both our sanity, our emotions, the
Hmm.
business itself, our bank accounts. I'll say our sanity again. Just it's the rock in each other that we both need.
Hmm.
And I think you've said this to me before too, of like, even compared to romantic relationships, we've been together the longest.
Hmm.
And it is the most unwavering relationship I've ever had. It
Hmm.
is usually the most easy because we
Hmm.
like just fall into our roles so easily and have the grace of dual like identity.
Hmm.
Because listen, even if we get frustrated with each other, which isn't very often, I think we're actually pretty great about that. it's not necessarily you that pissed me off. It's totally Riley. What the hell, Riley? And you could be like, Emily is on one today. I'm just not talking to her for the rest of the day. I'm going to bed. And like, that's it. But then if there was a personal situation, I'm like, bestie, I need you. You'd be like, hi, what's happening? And that's totally aside. And that like compartmentalization absolutely keeps us sane, absolutely takes away from organization, but works in a way that works for us. And I'm sure other people will be like, y'all's process is chaotic. Or like, how are you always at the last minute for things and all this kind of stuff? But that's just always been how we operate. We have an absolute giant wedge of lucky girl syndrome in this life. We also are so determined that when other people would have stopped long ago, we are on the next lead or the next new path or the next big thing to make something just magical. And 9 times out of 10, magic happens. And it's pretty fucking awesome. I wouldn't trade this life for anything or want to do it with anyone else. I love you more than any other human in the world. And Muse is kind of that heart hub to me. It's an umbrella. It's a company. It encompasses so many things. And under that, we've been able to just flourish as women and as friends. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love you so much.
I gotcha.
It's so good. It's so wonderful. So we should plan maybe an Emily Riley sleepover. We can try it out. We can make it naked. We can tell the boys about it on the pod after, see how it goes. And then maybe we do a Christmas or a holiday one at the spa. Who knows? But that one will be no boys allowed. That'll just be the girls at the spa, kicking it up, having some laughs, and maybe a couple winks of sleep.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm sure everyone's going to have a million questions. So drop down below. What do you guys want to know about us? I think we kept it as vanilla as expected for YouTube. But we could definitely do a follow-up on Patreon because I know y'all's burning questions are probably the spicy ones. So drop those down below or shoot us a DM. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel because we are trucking. We've had some momentum lately. Woo, things are on fire in Museville altogether. So thank everyone for joining us along this whole journey that we just talked about and this beautiful episode. I love this one. This is good. All the feels. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, guys.